Good evening, good morning, good day, whenever you may see this or review it. This is my first attempt at a real live, I guess you could say, and something that really interests me is the Book of Melchizedek, the Dead Sea Scroll, that's been recently certified and published within the last 2 years. And I think it's relevant. I think it answers a lot of questions that Christians or believers in God look for, and it fills in a lot of gaps. So we're going to review chapter one right now, and here we go.
The Book of Melchizedek, King of Righteousness. Part 1, read by Alexander Scourby. The secret knowledge given first from the temple of Lord to Melchizedek, the King of Peace, King of Heaven upon the earth, the great high priest after the order of the Son of God. Then from Melchizedek to Abraham. Melchizedek's authority as King of Salem, later Jerusalem, and priest of the God Most High. He spoke of God as both creator and deliverer. He was also King of Peace, righteousness and peace. Chapter 1. The History of the Universe. Before there was a star to shine, before there were angels singing, had a heaven, the home of the eternal, the only God. Perfect wisdom, love, and glory, the eternal lived in eternity before achieving his beautiful dream, the creation of the universe. The countless beings that comprised the creation were all conceived with great affection. Since the inner atom to gigantic galaxies, all deserved his supreme regard. Music lover, God conceived the universe as a great orchestra, under his rule, should vibrate harmonious chords of justice and peace. For every creature, he has composed a love song. The Lord was very happy because his dreams were to be realized. Moving himself with majesty, began his work of creation. Your hands shaped primarily a world of light, and on it a mountain blazing over which would forever be executed the throne of the universe.
Yeah, so it's interesting that it talks about how, you know, God would dream and create, and how he's a music lover, which is significant if you, consider the things of heaven that were promised or that were uh, shown in the Bible. And a lot of this book is kind of a dive into the mind of God and how he feels about certain things. And so we actually get a insight of his emotion, his internal emotion about things, and it's very interesting stuff. Also, the intro is very interesting, talking about Melchizedek being the king of righteousness and the deliverer and the I forgot the other term that he used, but and then bringing in Abraham as, say, sort of a, I don't know, scribe type or whatever, giving him the book, and he wrote it down, which proves that Abraham was a author of some of the Old Testament. We're not sure exactly which, but I would venture to say, this is one of them. Obviously, as it was described in the intro, and the Book of Job, I believe, is also from Abraham. Scholars, don't have any clue really who did that, but that's my assertion.
The sacred mountain called Yahweh. From Zion, base of the throne, the Eternal did squirt a crystal-clear river to represent the life of him would flow to all creatures. As the throne room created a beautiful paradise that stretched for hundreds of miles around the Mount Zion called the Paradise, Eden. South of heaven, on both banks of the river of life, were built many mansions adorned with precious stones, which were intended for the angels, the ministers of the kingdom of light. Circling Eden and angelic mansions, built a wall of Yahweh jasper lamp posts, along which could be seen large portals, pearls. With joy beheld the eternal capital dreamed. The city in its splendor was adorned like a bride ready to receive her husband. Affectionately called it the great architect, Jerusalem, city of peace. God was to bring into existence the first rational creature. It would be a glorious angel, the most honorable of all. Adorned by the brilliance of gemstones, this angel lived on Mount Zion as the representative of the King of Kings before the universe.
Yeah, so he created all the beings and the animals and the plants, the trees of the life, and the earth and the Eden and everything, and then what we're called as free agent thinking, free willed beings are rational beings, and I think that's a good reference to mankind and other free agent beings that are talked about and created in this book. So here we go.
Much love, the Creator began to model the firstborn of the angels. All wisdom applied to form it, making it perfect. Tenderly granted him life, the beautiful angel, like that awaking from a deep sleep, opened his eyes and beheld the face of his Maker. With joy, the Eternal showed him the beauties of heaven, telling him of his plans, which were beginning to materialize. To be led to the place of his abode, to the throne, the Prince of the Angels was grateful, and with melodious voice sang his first song of praise. From the heights of Zion unraveled itself in the eyes of beautiful angel, Jerusalem in its vastness and splendor. The river of life, the serene glide through the city, resembled a broad avenue, mirroring the beauty of the Garden of Eden and the angelic mansions. Involving the firstborn of the angels with his robe of light, the Eternal began to speak to him of the principles that were to govern the universal kingdom. Physical and moral laws should be respected to the fullest extent of the divine government.
So it's interesting. We're talking about a ruling type of governance or applied rules to the kingdom of God in heaven here, and God is Yahweh. Yahweh's dictating to this angel, how he wants it done, and it's interesting how it relates to us in the fact that it's talking about governance, like a governance being, say, a republic versus a democracy or something like that, or a monarchy or a theocracy, the political system in which all the subjects are uh, uh, downstream from and are subject to and have to follow in order to have a representation of justice, fairness, and the ability to prosper, and also say like the pursuit of happiness.
Moral laws summarized in two principles: love God above all things and our neighbor Horn himself. Every rational creature should be a channel through which the Eternal could well have another life and light. Thus, the universe would grow in harmony, happiness, and peace. In the kingdom of Yahweh, the laws would not be enforced with rigor. The subjects were free. Obedience should arise spontaneously, in a gesture of appreciation and gratitude. In this realm of freedom, disobedience would also be possible. The result of such behavior would be the depletion of vital forces. After
Real quick, yeah. So this obviously clearly shows that we have free will. We have the ability to be disobedient, uh, and also that it shows by the depletion of vital forces that is a kind of a reference to sin, and the wages of sin is death. So even if you were defiant or disobedient, or you were not following in the realm of light's principles, you would actually start to lose vital forces, which is also in the heavenly realm. It's rank and authority and power, basically.
revealing the beautiful angel laws of his government, the Eternal entrusted him with a mission of great responsibility, to be the protector of those laws, and should honor them, and reveals them to the universe about to be created. With hearts overflowing with love for Yahweh and similar fit, you would be a model of perfection, was Lucifer, the light bearer.
So this probably comes as a bit of a surprise to some Christians that maybe hearing this the first time or realizing it or seeing this, that the first creation rational being was Lucifer, the bearer of light. And we're going to see here that he actually calls him his son and everything. And then we're going to see later in the book how Lucifer fell into the abyss and became Satan. But like I said, a lot of this book really fills in a lot of the gaps that we don't know about just by reading, say Genesis through Revelation.
The Prince of Angels, grateful for everything, prostrated himself before the loving king, promising him eternal fidelity. The Lord continued his work of creation, bringing into existence innumerable hosts of angels, the ministers of the kingdom of light. The holy city was populated by these creatures, radiant, happy, and grateful, united their voices in beautiful song of praise to the Creator. Yahweh now bring into existence the universe who, full of life, would be around his throne, signed his order, which thunder echoed by all parties, giving rise, as if by magic, countless galaxies, filled worlds and suns, havens of life and joy, all harmoniously turning around Mount Zion. When witnessing such a great achievement of the Supreme King, the angelic hosts fell down, echoing space illuminated by a song of triumph in salute to life. Whole universe joined this song of gratitude for the promise of eternal fidelity to the Creator. Guided by the Eternal, the angels came to know the riches of the universe. In this tour, Sidereal marveled before the vastness of the kingdom of light. By all parties met worlds inhabited by happy creatures who received them so precious as life, freedom of choice, through which the creatures could demonstrate their love for the Creator, demanded a test of loyalty. In order to reveal it, the Eternal led the hosts through the space illuminated by approaching an abyss of darkness that contrasted with the immense brightness of galaxies. By far, this gulf had proved insignificant in the eyes of angels as a blip without light, but the extent of their approach it was shown in its enormity.
So there we have it. The capacity of the being the all-knowing creature, the all-knowing being, the all-knowing God, the Most High, the most powerful, the Creator of all things. Also, having full knowledge would necessarily uh, require that this darkness or this blip or this whatever abyss would be part of that. Otherwise, you wouldn't have full knowledge. So it's also used as a loyalty test. It says in order to demonstrate the love for the creator, and this is where the problem of good and evil starts to get explained. I don't know if the chapter will end before it really gets into that. We'll review that next time, but here's where it all kind of starts.
The Creator, who revealed to the angels every step of the mysteries of his kingdom, stood there silent, as if guarding a secret to himself. The darkness of that abyss consisted in testing the fidelity. Turning to the hosts, the Eternal solemnly said, "All the treasures of light will be open to your notice, unless the secrets hidden by darkness. You are free to serve me or not. Loving the light, you will be connected to the source of life." With these words did Yahweh separation between light and darkness, good and evil. The universe was free to choose his destiny.
Right, that was nice and quick and easy, 7 minutes, and we will do the next one soon.